of Social Sciences, Himachal Pradesh University to come over to the dais. I would also like to request Patron GSHP, Professor B.S. Mad Sir, President GSHP, Professor D.D. Sharma Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sardar Patel University, Mandi, and B.R. Thakur Sir, convener of the program, to take their seats on the dais.
ठीक है ठीक है
It is an important part of our culture to express our kind gestures to them who have taken special efforts to make the valedictory session a success by their presence. So I request Dr. Ramlal Sir, Organizing Secretary of the event, to present Himachali shawl, cap and token of appreciation to guest of honor Professor S.B. Kaushik Sir.
कर लो यही कर लो नीचे कर नीचे कर लो वो कोने में तो खराब ही लगेगा धंधे
I now request Dr. Seema Chaudhary, Co-Organizing Secretary, to present Professor Mamta Mokta Ma'am, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, Himachal Pradesh University, with Himachali shawl, cap and token of appreciation. Let's follow this again with a round of applause for all the dignitaries present on the dais. Now I would like to invite Dr. Dhandev Sir, Joint Secretary, GSHP, and Assistant Professor, Government Degree College, Argi, for reading the report of two-day national seminar.
Good afternoon to all. Respected chief guest, who is joining very shortly, Professor Rajeshwar Chandel, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Horticulture, Forestry, Noni, and other dignitaries present in this house. I, Dhandev Sharma, Joint Secretary of Geographical Society of Himachal Pradesh, take this opportunity to read out the report of 2 days national seminar and first GSHP meet jointly organized by Department of Geography and Geographical Society of Himachal Pradesh in collaboration with Northwest Regional Centre ICSSR Chandigarh on the theme Geography, Development and Public Policy. The program began in the morning 23rd September 2022 with arrival and registration of the participants. In this seminar, about 200 registrations took place across 16 states of the country. The chief guest of the inaugural session was Professor S.P. Bansal, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. The program was inaugurated by the guest of honor, Professor Jyoti Prakash, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. Professor D.D. Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sardar Patel University, Mandi, and President GSHP, Professor B.S. Mad, Patron GSHP, Dr. B.R. Thakur, Chairman Department of Geography and Secretary GSHP and convener of this national seminar, Dr. Ramlal, Organizing Secretary, and Dr. Seema Chaudhary, co-organizer of the seminar, were also present and graced the inaugural occasion. In the felicitation ceremony, Dr. P.D. Bhardwaj, former Professor, Department of Geography, HPU, Shimla, Professor B. S. Mar, former Professor, Department of Geography, HPU Shimla, Professor H. S. Mangat, Chief Patron, APG, and former Professor in Punjab University, Patiala, Professor D. D. Sharma, former Chairman, Department of Geography, were felicitated for their valuable contribution in the field of academics, particularly in geography. After this, all the guests released the souvenir of this national seminar, a book entitled Folk Geography of Transgiri region of Himachal Pradesh, authored by Dr. Sarita Verma, was also released by the eminent guests. Dr. B.R. Thakur welcomed all the guests and delegates and introduced the theme Geography, Development and Public Policy. Professor D.D. Sharma, President GSHP, gave his remarks about this national seminar in which he highlighted the genesis of GSHP. Professor Jyoti Prakash, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor HPU Shimla, congratulated the organizing committee of seminar and also emphasized the significance of research in the present era. He said that the research must be oriented to social welfare. The keynote speaker, Professor Kaushal Kumar Sharma, CSRD JNU New Delhi, delivered his lecture on the geography, development and public policy. In his address, he discussed the role of geography and geographical research in public policy. He informed that geography has tendency to shift in all directions, which make the discipline a social necessity. Chief guest of the inaugural session, Professor S.P. Bansal, Honorable Vice Chancellor HPU Shimla, delivered his remarks virtually to the House. He greeted the gatherings and congratulated the organizing committee. He said that in the post-pandemic era, such events of academic importance is an academic requirement. After the tea break, first technical session was chaired by Professor S.C. Rai, University of Delhi, and Dr. Anargha Dhorde, University of Pune. In this session, 8 participants read out their research papers on the theme Natural Hazards and Disaster Management Policy. In parallel to this, the second session was chaired by Dr. Navdeep Kaur from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and Dr. Harpreet Singh from BHU, Varanasi. The session was on the theme Infrastructural Development and Inclusive Governance. In this session, 8 papers were presented. The third session was chaired by Professor M.S. Jaglan from Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra, and Dr. Lalit S. Jhala from JNB University, Jodhpur. In this session, 9 papers were read out on the theme Agricultural Sustainability and Issues. After the lunch break, technical session 4th, 5th and 6th were conducted parallelly, in which 4th session on Economic Organization Development was chaired by Professor Gaurav Kalotra from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and Dr. Amrita Bajaj from University of Delhi. In this session, 7 papers were presented. The 5th session on Globalization and Changing Livelihood Experiences was chaired by Professor Anuja Tiga from Andhra University and Professor Anil Pal from DBS PG College, Dehradun. In this session, 11 delegates presented their research papers. The 6th session on regional development was chaired by Professor Amit Dhorde from University of Pune and Professor Lakhbir S. Gill, SBSBM College, Mansa. In this session, 8 papers were presented. After the evening tea break, 7th, 8th and 9th technical session started at 3 venues simultaneously. The theme for the 7th technical session was Urbanization and Urban Policies, and session was chaired by Professor D.D. Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor SPU Mandi, and Dr. Rajiv Sidhu from Kisan College, Jind. In this session, 10 papers were presented. The 8th technical session was on regional development and environmental issues. The session was chaired by Professor S.P. Kaushik from Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra, and Dr. Baljit Kaur from Punjab University, Patiala. In this session, 7 papers were read out. In the 9th technical session, chairpersons were Dr. P.D. Bhardwaj, former Professor HPU Shimla, and Dr. Manoj Kumar, GDC, Government Degree College, Hisar, Haryana. In this session, 4 research papers were presented on the theme Inclusive Public Policy and Programs. After this, a cultural evening was organized. The chief guest of this event was Professor Arvind Bhatt, Dean Planning and Teachers Matters, HPU Shimla. In this program, Himachal's folk culture was demonstrated with the musical instruments, traditional attire, and dance forms. The Deepak dance, Thodo dance, Sirmori Nati, were the enthralling events. The fusion dance, solo songs, and nati by the students of Department of Geography were also main attraction of cultural evening. The, the cultural evening was followed by the delicious dinner. The second day, 24th September 2022, started with the four technical sessions 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. The 10th technical session on social development, health, and educational issue was chaired by Professor Rajeshwari Jaglan, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra, and Dr. Vikram Sharma from BHU Varanasi. In this session, four papers were presented. The 11th session was chaired by Professor B.S. Mart, former Professor, Department of Geography, HPU Shimla, and Dr. B.C. Jat from Government College, Radhawas, Jaipur. In this session, seven papers were presented on the theme Emerging Geographic Issues and Changing Policies. The 12th session was chaired by Professor Dinesh Goswami from SDS Uttarakhand University and Dr. Namrata Vadhera from Punjab University, Patiala. In this session, five papers were presented on the theme Agricultural Development and Sustainability Issues. The theme for the 13th technical session was Socio-Economic Development. This session was chaired by Professor Kaushal Kumar Sharma, CSRD JNU New Delhi, and Dr. Vishal Warpa, IGNU New Delhi. In this session, four papers were presented. After the tea break, panel discussion session was started on the theme Geography, Development and Public Policy. The session was chaired by Professor S.C. Rai, Department of Geography, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. Dr. B.R. Thakur, convener of the seminar, introduced the distinguished panelists to the House. After this, Chairperson Professor S.C. Rai gave his remarks about the organization of the panel discussion and invited the first panelist, Professor M.S. Jaglan. He discussed the place of geography in relation to the environment and policy. He also unfolded the reality of research and research projects in the policy-making processes. While referring the articles of the David Harvey, Clark, and Martin, Professor Jaglan highlighted the place of policy implications in geographical research. The chair invited the second panelist, Professor Ashwani Luthra from School of Planning, GND University, Amritsar. He delivered his lecture on geography, development, and public policy, specifically on urban development and policy. In his address, he discussed about imbalance, urbanization, urban challenges, sustainable development goals, and reimagining urban future. After this, the chair invited third panelist, Professor Sarfalaz Alam from BHU Varanasi, UP. He expressed his views on socio-spatial exclusion in India. He discussed the diversity and disparity and social exclusion in perspective of geographic space. Fourth panelist was Professor Amit Dhode from Savitribai Phule University, Pune, Maharashtra. He discussed about the relevance and the contribution of regional development. He highlighted the issues of climate change, climate extremes, heat stress, and urban heat island. In the last, the chairperson invited fifth panelist, Professor Anuja Tika from Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. She discussed about the holistic synthesis of geography and usefulness of this approach in developmental activities. She also emphasized the public policy issues in terms of quality, time, and self-sustenance. In the last, Chairperson Professor S.C. Rai summarized the panel discussion. The minutes of valedictory sections are already being noticed by you all, and the scheduled program is in progress. With this, the reporting ends. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for briefing us with 2 days journey with such an enthusiasm. Now I request Avtar Singh, sir, representative Northwest Regional Center, ICSSR Chandigarh, to share his views.
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਤੇ ਆਦਾਬ। Esteemed dignitaries on the dais, dear professors, teaching fraternity, research scholars, and students with the staff of the university, on behalf of the ICSSR Northwest Regional Center, I welcome you all for this 2 day seminar, and simultaneously I wish a long journey after concluding session just being completed today only, and with the hope that you must be meeting each other frequently to discuss the problems which are being discussed in these 2 days on a very important topic, that is a climatic change. And in that way, only the geography people can play a vital role involving all the disciplines in for the future generations to live smoothly on this earth. And I convey our sincere thanks to the Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor S.P. Bansal, Professor Rajkumar, our Vice Chancellor, Professor D.D. Sharma ji, who is very well committed to the ICSSR Regional Center from very long back and contributing in all the activities of this regional center as and when he is called for. And secondly, I want to convey the thanks from our director, Professor Sanjay Kaushik, who is a gem person for all kind of activities in this regional center. Whenever any teacher approaches him, he is always there to welcome and support them. And even on behalf of the ICSSR, on behalf of the director ICSSR, I convey every proposal to him, and he accedes to that because he deems it fit that if it is coming through Avtar Singh, then it will be having a good proposal so that it is accepted. Our sincere thanks goes to our member secretary, Professor V.K. Malhotra, and Professor Bajaj, chairman and member secretary of the ICSSR, because all these activities are completed with the financial support of the ICSSR. Otherwise, we will not in a position to do anything in the region to promote the social science research. As far as our concern with this university is, it is long back since 1977 when the regional center was established at Chandigarh. And importantly, I am happy to say that in 2000, we organized the first seminar in collaboration with the Department of Education when Dr. Nan Singh was there. Today I came to know that he has been nominated as a member of the Himachal Pradesh Service Commission, and he was very anxious to organize the seminar in collaboration, and first seminar was organized with that Department of Education. And after that, the second seminar was organized with the Department of Sociology when Professor Satish Sharma and Dr. Monga was there. And third one was the research methodology workshop with the Department of Academic Staff College at that time now, which is HRDC now, when Professor Yoginder Verma was director of the center, and I was here for a week-long program, and this was just only held for the research scholars and professors, assistant, at that time lecturers, for research methodology program, which were organized at the premises of this university. And this is the fourth one. And for this, all the you can say greetings goes to Dr. B.R. Thakur, because he was in constant touch with me कि मैंने सेमिनार कराना है भाई साहब, बस एक ही बात थी. तो ये इस बात ने इतना कमाल कर दिया कि मैंने संजय कौशिक जी को बोला कि डॉक्टर साहब ये तो करना ही पड़ेगा, बहुत मजबूर हो गए. तो it goes to him only. And secondly, the most important thing which I have seen during these 2 days, that his fellow being Professor Rampal, Mr. Vishal, Akhil, students, and all the staff, even Mr. Ved Kumar. I can't count the names of all the persons here, but I am really happy. But the most important thing to note is that such kind of gathering, I am going from the last 30 years to attend the ICSSR seminars, I have not seen this kind of enthusiasm. And especially, and this perhaps this credit goes to two things. One thing is that the Himachal catches the all walks of life to the land of Himachal. Everybody wants a chance ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਚੱਲਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਹੀ ਯਾਰ, ਕੋਈ ਬੁਲਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਹੀ, ਤੇ ਬਹਾਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਇਹ ਗੱਲ। ਤੇ ਦੂਜਾ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਰਾਮ ਲਾਲ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਇੱਧਰੋਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਠਾकुर जी ਇਹ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ, ਅਰੇ ਭਾਈ ਕਿਆ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਆ ਜਾਓ, ਕਰ ਦੋ ਨਾ। ਉਹ ਕਿਆ ਕਰੇਗਾ ਬੰਦਾ, ਜੇ ਮਜਬੂਰੀ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਕਹੇਗਾ ਯਾਰ ਬਣਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਚੱਲੀਏ ਯਾਰ, ਉਹ ਜੇਬੋਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਆ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਐਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਦੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਐਡਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਇਕੱਠ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ। ਇਹਨਾਂ 2 ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਾਲ ਨੇ ਭਰੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਪ੍ਰੈਜੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਬੜਾ ਮਨ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੋਇਆ। ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਕਨਵੇ ਇਟ ਟੂ ਮਾਈ ਬੌਸ, ਮਾਈ secretariat in the ICSSR New Delhi, because we will be sending a report of this seminar and we will be loading all kind of pictures and audio video on the website of our ICSSR. So it is a nice to be here. The last thing I want to tell you that the proposals which we receive from Northwest region comprising the states of Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir and Chandigarh itself. And I'm sorry to say this year from the HP University only one proposal has come. Only one proposal from the HP University. Even I sent 2 times the emails and messages so that all people could contribute and submit their proposals. And as far as the Himachal Pradesh students are concerned, you must be knowing, all the faculty must be knowing that we accommodate the maximum student research scholars in our 2 research methodology programs, which are totally free. We give them accommodation, we give them study material, everything is provided free of cost for 14 days, 2-week research methodology training program, so that we could produce the good researchers, because they are the future generation of the climate change, not only the climate change, for the future of a country. Because if we produce the good scholars, only then the development is there. So ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਮੈਂ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਤਨੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਹਰ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ, ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ everyone is contributing from the core of heart. And very important, as my dear colleague, I forgot his name, he put up his report of the 2-day report, and he elaborated that what kind of questions were raised and put up in the 2-day seminar. ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਲਾਈਮੇਟ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਉਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਜੀਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈ। ਨੋ ਡਾਊਟ ਕਿ ਬਾਕੀ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਰਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ ਜੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਐਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਪਰ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਬਚਾਉਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਜੋ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਜੀਣ ਜੋਗਾ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਚਾ ਲਿਓ, ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਓ। ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਜੀਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਔਖਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ, ਕਿ ਉਹ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਬੜੀ ਹੱਦ ਤੱਕ ਸਫਲ ਵੀ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਾਤਾਲਾ ਪਤਾਲ ਲੱਖ ਅਗਾਸਾ ਆਗਾਸ, ਓੜ ਕੋੜ ਕਪਾਲ ਥਕੇ ਵੇਦ ਕਹਿਣ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਤ। ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਅਗਾਸਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਤਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਅਗਾਸਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਣਾ, ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਣੀ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਚਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਸਮਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਵਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਿਤਾ ਮਾਤਾ ਧਰਤ ਮਹੱਤ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਮਾਤਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਜਨਮ ਮਾਤਾ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਨਮ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਥਾਂ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਦਿਲ ਤੋਂ, ਫਰੋਮ ਦੀ ਕੋਰ ਆਫ ਹਾਰਟ, from the ICSSR Regional Center, I convey my sincere thanks and welcome to you all, and with the wishes that we shall be meeting again and again. Thank you very much.
ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਤਾਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਾਡਿਆਂ ਤੇ
Thank you, sir, for the appreciation. We are highly obliged and for telling us about your workings and contributions. Today's guest of honor, Professor S.P. Kaushik, sir, is Professor, Department of Geography, Kurukshetra University, since 2009, with urban geography, population geography, tourism, and environmental issues as main areas of interest. He is member of about 2 dozens of academic and research bodies with a dozen professional bodies. He has published about 60 research papers in journals of national and international repute, with one book into his credit. Many students have done research under his supervision, and 6 are under the process of their PhD journey. We are delighted to have such an inspiring personality among us today. I am honored to invite you to enlighten us with your words.
Honorable Chief Guest in absence here, Professor Rajeshwar Chandel. I hope he will join us soon. His Vice Chancellor, UHF Noni Solan. Special guest, Professor Manta Mokhtar, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, HPU. All the other dignitaries on the dais and of the dais. I thank the organizers for giving this opportunity to share my views on some specific issues related to development and contribution of geographers. To my surprise, for the last 2 days deliberations, not many presentations were on tourism. Himachal is known for tourism, which contribute about 7 to 8% of the GDP of the state. Large number of people from the state, they are employed in this sector, and as far as this topic is concerned, my focus will be on the sustainability of the tourism, so that some input can be provided to the state government for sustainable tourism development in Himachal Pradesh. Because I have conducted a study, some parts of Himachal Pradesh, that was Laol Spiti and Kinnaur, a few years back, and that was funded by ICSSR. And because I got the opportunity to see the constraints in the tourism development of the state in those specific areas, and accordingly we can plan that how to mitigate those constraints and achieve the high threshold level of tourism arrival in Himachal Pradesh state, so that local people of the different areas, they get employment and pollution-free livelihood options. In this regard, I would like to share some of the methodology that I adopted, and please show the methodologies. What? एक बार किसी रेफरेंस में डॉक्टर जागलान साहब कहते थे कि घोड़े की लगाम अपने हाथ में होनी चाहिए। Because it is not possible to describe all details of that project findings. So,
नहीं वहाँ दिख रहा है वो नहीं, वो तो करने के लिए बोल रहे
बैठ भी सकते हैं वहाँ पे।
ये कोई
इनको बोल दो प्रॉब्लम
डॉक्टर साहब अगर
यू कैन
वहाँ
यूज देयर सर आल्सो
अगर
यू कैन
वहाँ
सिट
जाना है
देयर एज एवर यू फील कंफर्टेबल
नहीं, कोई नहीं, वो
Hi,
मैं
sir.
कर लूँ। कहाँ से करना है? ओके,
इधर इधर कुछ करना पड़ेगा। ठीक है
ओके।
सर सेंसर उधर पर है इसका ना साइड होगा सेंसर
एक मिनट। ऊपर कौन सा
डेटाबेस मेथोडोलॉजी की ये है ये बेटा नेक्स्ट। हाँ ये डेटाबेस सर को तो सर
मुझे
पीछे कैसे
इस तरफ करना है इसको। एक्चुअली सभी नहीं करना तो इसलिए चलो मैं हाँ वो तो फिर नहीं बार बार बोलना तो इतना टाइम नहीं होगा। एनीवे सॉरी फॉर डिसरप्शन। In context to tourism, because there are both positive and negative impacts of tourism,
हेलो
there are some methodology developed by United Nations also, IUCN, to calculate the threshold value of tourist destination based on certain parameters, that how many tourists can be accommodated in a given area. On that basis, we have calculated the threshold value, that is physical carrying capacity of the land in the Kinnaur area as well as in the Lahaul and Spiti. But there are many constants also which negatively affect the carrying capacity of land in the destination areas, and these constraints reduce the arrivals of the tourist in the specific locations. These constants can be physical factors like the temperature or snowfall or landslides. There are so many others. If you apply that and calculate the real carrying capacity, then it substantially decline as compared to the physical carrying capacity. And then you apply the management constants, like say for example food joints quality, or say the behavior of the workers in the accommodations units, hotels or restaurant, or the sanitary conditions, or the availability of the infrastructure facilities in the areas visited by the travelers, like the, say for example, fuel filling stations. Their number is so less in certain pockets that can adversely affect the arrivals of the tourist. Similarly, there are other constants like the repair shops of the vehicles. They are not present in different locations. Now, considering all these constant factors, if you apply them, then there is further reduction in the total carrying capacity of that destinations. So there is a big gap. On the one hand, there is physical carrying capacity based on the land area of the destination, that how number of tourists can be accommodated at a given point of time. But when we apply these constant factor, physical as well as the management factors, then it significantly declined more than 10 times. So question here is, can we improve that carrying capacity to a maximum threshold level that can be achieved? And those constant factors that we saw in these fields, those were largely those factors which by applying our technology, some capital investment, we can improve that. Like one of that was the road conditions. When we conducted survey, that was in 2016, the condition of the road towards this Kinnaur and from Kinnaur towards Spiti Valley and up to Gramfu. Many patches in that part, they were highly, you can say, damaged, and large patches, they were partially damaged also. So because of those, many tourists avoid visiting those areas because the traveling conditions were not so good. And above all these, there were many landslides points along the roads from Juri to this Kinnaur headquarters, and then from there towards Kaja, there were Sumdo and at some other places also like Puwari. And then between the Gramfu and the Kaja, large distance that is without any pakka roads. So in such conditions, the travelers, a normal or family travelers, they prefer not to visit such or not to take risk visiting those areas. So because of these constant factors, these areas could not achieve the potential they have in this sector. So if we remove all these constraints, then the people who are living there, local population, we can provide alternate economic or the employment options to these people. Then there are some other important challenges. If you improve them, then they can also be helpful in improving the situation. And one of that is the food joints. Food joints quality is not so good in most of the areas, particularly on the way side of these traveling routes. So the sanitary conditions, the food quality, and the road conditions, these are some of the major factors, constant factors, and if we improve them, I hope there will be a much larger volume of tourists we can see visiting these places. Then there is another problem in certain pockets, not in this area, but in general, if you see, in many parts of the country, there are many water bodies. Along all these water bodies, there are some settlements, and the wastewater of those settlements generally dumped in the those water bodies, and slowly they die unnatural death. So, because Himachal also have a large number of water bodies, so we should be aware about this kind of damage that has been done in other parts of the country, and save these water bodies like Prashar Lake or some others, or the dams sites. So if we preserve or conserve these areas and scientifically conserve and allow the tourists in these areas, then these same points, these resources can be tapped for development of tourism in those areas. Then there is another important suggestions, if you agree with me, that some areas, some destinations in Himachal Pradesh, they are overexploited, like the situations in the Manali, Kulu, or the Rohtang areas, or the even Shimla. There are three major districts of tourism attraction in the state: the Kangra, or the Shimla, or the Kulu Manali area. About 30-35 lakh visitors visit every year in these locations, in these districts. If we shift some of them, or we provide alternate tourist centers, then the pressure on these locations, which have already damaged the environment of these places to large extent, and many areas like the Chopal or the Rohru or Silai belt can be another options. Similarly, we can improve the road conditions and make it worthy for plying the vehicles throughout the year during winter season also. Then we can improve the tourist arrival in these locations, like interiors of Chamba or the interiors of some parts of Udaipur Tehsil of Lahaul also. And similarly, there are many areas in the Sirmor belt which are not visited generally by the tourists, because there is either a constant factor of the roads, or there may be not much awareness about those areas among the local population or the people from outside. So they prefer not to visit those areas in the absence of those awareness. But they offer a lot of greenery and very serene environment. So they should be, projected by the government also, tourism department also, through ads, etc., or through different media sources. So alternate sources of tourism, they should be projected, rather than just focusing on these three areas where we can see already a lot of damage to the environment. Then there is another suggestions. IT sector professionals nowadays, because after Corona, many IT sector industry or the firms, they allow their workers to work from home. That same concept, that like the medical tourism in certain parts of the country, we can apply the same, the work from home tourism for these IT professional. But to develop those, we need to develop what they require. They require a very high-speed internet, and because they are high-flying professionals, so they need airports. So if you develop some clusters near to airports and provide them all these basic necessities, then this new sector can be exploited for tourism purpose also. Then there is another suggestion regarding, because Himachal Pradesh, particularly those tourist destinations which are already, you can say, congested, pollution is one serious problem. So if we allow in those areas particularly only the non-polluting electric vehicles only, that can save the environment. And there is another suggestions regarding the development of these areas, like instead of hydroelectricity plants in those areas where there is a fragile geography, then we can use those areas for solar energy and use that solar energy for generating electricity as well as feeding the electric vehicles. So that will make the entire chain as pollution free. These are few suggestions. I hope they can be very useful for the development of tourism in the state. I have not touched other different sectors. Many other scholars have given some good deliberations on those aspects. I am limiting my deliberations on this tourism sector only. And I hope these suggestions, if adopted, will help in development of tourism of Himachal Pradesh particularly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such meaningful and insightful words. We have with us Professor Mamta Mukta ma'am, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences and Chairperson in the Department of Public Administration, Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. Ma'am has more than 30 years of teaching experience and has written and edited a dozen books. More than 70 articles have been published in the journals of national and international repute. Administrative field is not left untouched. Apart from academics, ma'am is a poetess, and first issue of her poetic collection, Mamta Ki Chhaav Mein, has been published recently. Professor Mamta ma'am has delivered more than 200 special invited guest lectures and is associated with various NGOs and government organizations. We are pleased to have you here, ma'am. Please come and share your thoughts with us. Thank you so much.
First of all, respected dignitaries sitting on the dais, Professor D.D. Sharma ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sardar Patel University, Mandi, Professor S.P. Kaushik ji, guest of honor on this occasion, Professor B.S. Murji, and the convener of today's conference, Dr. Thakur. Dr. Thakur, first of all, I start my address by congratulating Dr. Thakur for organizing such an excellent conference. I congratulate you from the core of my heart. Yesterday also, I was present in the inaugural session, and I was just, when I joined here, I was just thinking, because I'm not from the discipline of the geography, I'm from the discipline of public administration, and public administration policy was also here. So that was, I was thinking that how geographers, they are going to think, they are going to go inside into the policy. And Professor Thakur told me that roughly 96 papers, they were presented in the 13 technical sessions. And one of the sessions that was just totally dedicated to the panel discussion. You know, when we talk about the geography, geography is a core. When we talk about the sustainable development, the development issues can be tackled very effectively when a wholehearted approach that's required. Because we talk about the sustainable development, the role of every discipline is very, very, very important. And presently, when we are talking about the sustainable development goals, and the goal that you have touched very with the heart in this particular conference, that is the climate change. कहते हैं कि जो धरती है, धरती हमें जो मिली है, धरती माँ, वो हमारे पास आने वाली जो जनरेशन्स है, उनकी तो धरोहर है, लेकिन हमारे पुरखों की विरासत भी है, और ये पुरखों की विरासत में हमें इसको प्रिजर्व करें, प्रोटेक्ट करके आने वाली जनरेशन को एक अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट जो है हमें देना है, जैसे कि अवतार सिंह जी भी कह रहे थे, कि दैट इट इज़ आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दैट क्लाइमेट चेंज, एनवायरनमेंट प्रोटेक्शन, इन चीज़ों पे हम सब मिल करके बात करें, और नॉट ओनली मिल करके बात करें बट थ्रू दिस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस seminars, deliberations. We are going to put forth our suggestions. कितना अच्छा लगा कि in this Hall of Augustus gathering, the three generation geographists we are sitting here. The veteran professor, Professor Mangal, who is always there for encouraging, putting his positive remarks, encouraging every young researcher who is presenting here. It's very nice. But all three generations, when they come together and they put their deliberations, I think it's something turning point that comes out. It comes out with the fruit that's very much required for the development of the country. Yes. The first technical session I was just going through, that disaster management. Disaster management policies. Policies, they play a very important role in the management of the disaster. But in framing the policies, I think your role is very, very important when we talk about the hazard maps, risk analysis, vulnerability analysis. I think the role of geography is very, very important. Only on the basis, कहते हैं ना कि politicians जो है वो तो they are just the feedback that is given by the administrators, और administrators को जो feedback देते हैं, the real inputs जो है that is given by the academicians. तो यानी कि जो policies बिना feedback के, बिना data के, बिना suggestions के, बिना research के policies बनती हैं, I think that ग्राउंड पे वो इतना इफेक्टिव रिजल्ट नहीं दे पाती. तो यानी कि जो जितनी भी हमारी डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट पॉलिसीज हैं, तो पॉलिसीज की वेदर वी टॉक अबाउट द प्रिपेयर्डनेस पॉलिसीज, वी टॉक अबाउट द मिटिगेशंस पॉलिसीज, आई थिंक दैट दे शुड बी framed on the basis of what the feedback our geographists they used to give. And I think that first session may you have touched that aspect. After that, the all other aspects like infrastructure development, urban planning. Nowadays, the role of geography has become very, very important, especially in Himachal Pradesh. I was also going through news just last month that, geotagging, it is a new concept. It has been started. Geotagging is a concept, especially the Kangra district in Himachal Pradesh, that emerged as the first district all over the country that have geotagged all the Narega assets. यानी कि a sort of transparency has come into the system. Again, the role of geography, how the geography is contributing in bringing the transparency in the governance, and that transparency that is also indicator of the good governance. एक ही asset को हम बार बार जो है दिखा करके जो corruption को propagate किया जा रहा था, geotagging से we can put a check on that, duplication. The geotagging of the Magnarega asset has given that way, and the role of geography, again, it is very, very, very important. Again, the urban planning, nowadays we all talk about a lot about the smart cities. Smart cities, they are coming into the pictures, and urban planning, they are very important contributors. In the smart cities also, in the urban planning, geoinformatic systems, how the geoinformatic system, that is very, very important. Geoinformatic system, it's just important for the urban planners, town country planning, because the type of the planning that's required in the development of the towns, development of the cities, and planning the urban structure, it's very, very, very important. Again, the contribution of the geography in the policy making, it's there. And then one more session that I was just having a look on this particular brochure, that you talk about the sustainable agriculture also. Yeah, we all see that जो अन्नदाता, जो हमारे किसान भाई हैं, the number of the suicides of the farmers all over the country, it is causing pain to all of us. Recent data in the 2021, the latest just came out that says that more than 3,500 something farmers, they committed suicide. So how the sustainable agricultural practices, it can be sustained. Again, what type of resources we have, and we have to make the policies for the optimum utilization of the resources, the agriculture with the sustainable outlook, along not with only that the sustainable agriculture, but along with that the feminization of the agriculture, that is also very important issues. More and more women, बहुत सी महिलाएं जो है वो फार्मर्स, कहते तो हम बेशक किसान भाई हैं, लेकिन आज के दौर में बहुत सी महिलाएं जो है वो एक एज अ फार्मर्स के रूप में दे आर गिविंग देयर कंट्रीब्यूशन इन द जीडीपी ऑफ द कंट्री. दैट इज आल्सो वेरी क्रूशियल इशू, एंड दैट वाज आल्सो रेज्ड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेशन. And then we can say that the development concept, is the sustainable development concept without including the concept of the inclusive development, without including the concept of how we include the marginalized section, the scheduled caste, the scheduled tribe, the disabled, the women, the transgenders, the all sections of the society that they need to be included in the development process. One thing that's quite alarming, despite of so much of deliberations that we are putting together, we are talking a lot about the sustainable development. One dismal report that just came in 2022, that was the Environment Performance Index. And I just want to share with you, you must be knowing about that, the performance of our country, India, in that Environment Performance Index, it is at 180th position out of total 180 countries. 180 में से हम सबसे फिसडी 180 में से हमारी पोजीशन ही 188 आई. It's the biggest challenge before all of us. इस चैलेंज को हम सबको सोचना होगा. What the development means. डेवलपमेंट का मतलब इट्स नॉट अर्निंग मोर एंड मोर इनकम. हमें केवल जीडीपी को बढ़ाना नहीं है. दैट इज नॉट ओनली द इंडिकेटर ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट, बट in the development in the sense that the quality of life should also be there. जिस हवा में हम सांस ले रहे हैं, that should be pollution free. जो पानी, ऐसा ना हो आने वाली जनरेशन्स को हमें जो है वो पानी के इंजेक्शंस जो है वो लगाने पड़े, बिकॉज only 4% of the usable water that's available in our country. That is also a challenge. Effective water management and rainwater harvesting. These are the challenges, and we all are looking to the geography people again, that you are going to come out with the deliberations, with the suggestions, so that we can make the policies that this country needs at this juncture, so that we can come forward for the development that is the true sense that is called the sustainable development. As we all know that in the Paris Agreement that we just adopted in 2015, Paris Agreement, we have adopted the national determined contribution. The target, we have set the targets. Country have set a very impressive targets that we have to reduce the emission intensity by 35%. And we have to reduce the non-fossil fuel energy by 40%. But after 5 years, after this 2015, 5 years, we have just given the revised national determined contribution. Now we are talking about that in order to achieve that Paris Agreement, we have increased this national determined contribution. Now we have put the limit of reducing the emission capacity to 45% and reuse of this fossil fuels, non-fossil fuels, renewable energy limit that we have increased up to 50%. The targets, they are very impressive. That we have put a very impressive targets that we have to achieve this. But who is going to be implement all these targets? Who is going to achieve all these targets? Whom we can blame, whether we are going to blame the politicians, that politicians have ruined the country, or we are going to blame the administrators, that administrators, they are not properly implementing the policies. I think that without going into that controversy, we have to think about that it's you and we that have to think in this direction. You and we, if not today, then which day? If not here, then where? मुझे लगता है कि जितने ज़्यादा मैं सर से बात कर रही थी, ऐसा लगता है कि मिनी इंडिया के सारे जो ज्योग्राफी डिपार्टमेंट के हमारे एकेडमिशियंस हैं, प्रोफेसर्स हैं, और नॉट ओनली द एकेडमिशियंस एंड प्रोफेसर्स, दे वर प्रेजेंट इन दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस, बट practically those lying town and country planning administrators who are just using the geography in the proper planning and implementation, they were also present here in giving the presentation. So I think that today is the day, because we all are here, that we are going to take pledge that we have to move forward in the direction we can come out with the policies, the sustainable policies that is very much required for the development. And the theme of the conference, geography, development and public policy. And you have proved that, of course, the role of the geography in the Framing of the policy is very, very, very important. You can give the important feedback, and the feedback that's going to frame the ground, that's going to frame the sound database, on which basis the policies, programs that's going to be framed, that's going to give the new direction to the country. कहते हैं ना कि इस हमारी जो आने वाली जनरेशन्स हैं, हमारा जो एनवायरनमेंट है, इसकी सूरत बदलनी चाहिए। सूरत ऐसी जो सूरत हमारी जनरेशन के लिए भी अच्छी हो और हमारी आने वाली जनरेशन के लिए भी अच्छी हो। एक अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट, एक खुशनुमा एनवायरनमेंट जिसमें हैप्पीनेस तो हो, लेकिन साथ ही साथ क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ हो, पीने को अच्छा पानी हो, सांस लेने को अच्छी हवा हो, और एक अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट जिसमें हम एक हेल्दी लाइफ को जो है वो जी पाए। हम इसी उम्मीद के साथ वी आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर योर कंट्रीब्यूशन इन फ्यूचर ऑल्सो, एंड आई थैंक यू सो मच। मैं कोर ऑफ हार्ट से मैं थैंक्स करती हूँ ज्योग्राफी डिपार्टमेंट का और ज्योग्राफिकल सोसाइटी ऑफ हिमाचल प्रदेश। आपका ये पहला आपने लॉन्च किया और पहला ही लॉन्चिंग इतना ज़बरदस्त था, इतना शानदार था। आई कंग्रेचुलेट यू। आपका पहला ही कदम इतना अच्छा है, एंड वी होप एंड वी लुक फॉरवर्ड कि आप फ्यूचर में भी इसी तरह की जो है वो कॉन्फ्रेंसेस कराते रहेंगे। एंड वी फील प्राउड कि ज्योग्राफी डिपार्टमेंट ने हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में जो हमारी फैकल्टी ऑफ सोशल साइंस का एक बहुत ही अहम डिपार्टमेंट है, वो इतना अच्छा कॉन्फ्रेंस जो है वो ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया। और ये कॉन्फ्रेंस अच्छा शायद इसलिए हो पाया क्योंकि आप सब आए, आप सब इंटेलेक्चुअल्स के आने से, एकेडमिशियंस के आने से, उनकी इतनी अच्छी प्रेजेंटेशंस मैं कल से देख रही थी कि कितनी सीरियस उससे और कितनी अच्छी प्रेजेंटेशन जो है आप सब ने मिलके दी। उसके लिए मैं आप सबका कंग्रेचुलेट भी करती हूँ और आप सबका तहे दिल से धन्यवाद भी करती हूँ। थैंक यू सो मच। और एक बार फिर से आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने मुझे मौका दिया कि मैं भी आप सबके बीच में, मैं आपकी तरह एक्सपर्ट तो नहीं हूँ ज्योग्राफी में, लेकिन फिर भी मैं आप सबके बीच में आकर के दो शब्द आपके बीच रख पाई। धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच।
We all are benefited by the ideas and thoughts shared by you, ma'am. Your enthusiasm is contagious. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experiences. Now, I would like to invite Patron GSHP, Professor B.S. Mar sir, for sharing his remarks.
Very good afternoon to all of you, all my colleagues, my students on the dais and in the audience. कहते हैं कि किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस का अगर सक्सेस को आपने इवैल्यूएट करना है तो उसका हमारा हॉल भरा हुआ है वो देख के लगता है कि ये कॉन्फ्रेंस भी बहुत सक्सेसफुल रही है। एंड आई कंग्रेचुलेट माय डिपार्टमेंट फॉर this successful conduction of this conference. ज्योग्राफी की इम्पोर्टेंस के बारे में बहुत कुछ कहा जा चुका है, बहुत सालों से कहा जा रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी मैं ये कहूँगा कि हमें ज्योग्राफर्स को ज्योग्राफी को इंट्रोस्पेक्शन की ज़रूरत है। क्या हमने किया, क्या लैकिंग रह गया, क्या किया जा सकता है इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए, इसके बारे में सोचने की ज़रूरत है। और इसके साथ ही ज़रूरत जो है वो है टू स्प्रेड आवर विंग्स। हमें अपनी फील्ड एरिया से बाहर निकल के भी दूसरे डिसिप्लिन्स के साथ एसोसिएट होके काम करने की ज़रूरत है। हमें ये देखने की ज़रूरत है कि हम जो कह रहे हैं, जो कॉन्सेप्चुअल डेवलपमेंट हम कर रहे हैं, उनकी रेलेवेंस क्या है सोसाइटी के लिए, ह्यूमन बीइंग्स एट लार्ज के लिए, अर्थ इन जनरल के लिए, क्योंकि हम एनवायरनमेंट से रिलेटेड डिसिप्लिन हैं और हम कहते हैं कि हम इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी डिसिप्लिन हैं। कई बार कहा जा चुका है कि ज्योग्राफी इज इनहेरेंटली एन इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी डिसिप्लिन। तो ये जो इंटरडिसिप्लिनरिटी है, इसको कहीं ना कहीं हमने, मुझे लगता है, खो दिया है। इसको दोबारा से एस्टैब्लिश करने की ज़रूरत है और उसके लिए हमें दूसरे सब्जेक्ट के साथ, दूसरे डिसिप्लिन्स के साथ अपना संबंध जो है वो री-एस्टैब्लिश करने की ज़रूरत है। हो सकता है कि हमारा जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम है इसमें कहीं खामी हो, उसको ढूंढने की ज़रूरत है कि क्या खामी है। और मैं सोचता हूँ कि ये जो इंटरडिसिप्लिनैरिटी है ये क्यों नहीं डेवलप हो पा रही है हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में। वो क्या है कि वी हैव कंपार्टमेंटलाइज्ड द एकेडमिया and we have put very rigid boundaries of disciplines. मैं देखता हूँ कि कॉलेज लेवल पे जहाँ ज्योग्राफी पढ़ाई जाती है, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं वो उसके साथ एक सब्सिडियरी सब्जेक्ट लेके बीए या बीएससी कर लेते हैं। उसके अलावा कोई और इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी एक्सपोजर नहीं रहता। मास्टर डिग्री के लिए यूनिवर्सिटी में आ जाते हैं या जो भी पीजी कॉलेजेस हैं वहाँ पर आ जाते हैं। वहाँ पर तो उनका कंपार्टमेंटलाइजेशन इतना रिजिड हो जाता है कि डिपार्टमेंट के बाहर आप बिल्कुल भी नहीं देखते। योर एक्सपोजर आउटसाइड द डिपार्टमेंट इज ज़ीरो। ये एक्सपोजर बढ़ाने की ज़रूरत है। हमें इस तरह का सिस्टम बनाना चाहिए जिसमें कि in order to obtain your master degree you should be required to do some extra departmental courses also, जिससे कि आपका एक्सपोजर जो है बाहर का बढ़े। अगर आप फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी में स्पेशलाइजेशन करना चाहते हैं तो आउट ऑफ नेसेसिटी आपको कुछ कोर्सेज जियोलॉजी के, कुछ कोर्सेज माइट बी फिजिक्स के, कुछ कोर्सेज बायो साइंसेस के भी करने हों, तभी आपका इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी जो डेवलपमेंट है वो हो पाएगी। अगर आप सोशल साइंस में स्पेशलाइजेशन करना चाहते हैं, सोशल ज्योग्राफी में स्पेशलाइजेशन करना चाहते हैं, तो उसी तरह से एक रिक्वायरमेंट होनी चाहिए कि सोशियोलॉजी, पॉलिटिकल साइंस और माइट बी पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, उसमें भी कुछ कोर्सेज आपको करने की ज़रूरत हो। ये डेवलप करने की ज़रूरत है, इस तरह का सिस्टम जिसमें कि इस तरह का इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी एक्सपोजर जो है हमारे स्टूडेंट्स का बढ़े। ज्योग्राफी इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट, बहुत लोगों ने कहा, और इसके लिए हाम डी ब्लीज की दो किताबें मुझे याद आ रही हैं। एक का नाम है वाई ज्योग्राफी मैटर्स और उसमें सब टाइटल दे रखा है इवन मोर नाउ दैन इट एवर वाज। वो किताब जरूर पढ़नी चाहिए हम ज्योग्राफर को, सभी को। और एक दूसरी किताब है हम दी ब्लीज की जिसका टाइटल है पावर ऑफ प्लेस. Power of place. It talks about how geography, how the contents of a place affects you, affects your life, affects the way you behave, affects the way you earn your living and all that. तो ये दो किताबें ऐसी हैं जो कि हमारे ज्योग्राफी करिकुलम में कहीं ना कहीं इन्वॉल्व होनी चाहिए, इंक्लूड होनी चाहिए. चाहे आप एक कोर्स ही बना दीजिए इन किताबों के बेसिस पर जो कि मास्टर डिग्री लेवल पे पढ़ाया जा सके, सो दैट एवरी स्टूडेंट शुड आउट ऑफ नेसेसिटी हैव टू रीड दीज बुक्स. तो ज्योग्राफी इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, और आजकल का टाइम जो है उसमें ज्योग्राफी इज चाहे आप रियलाइज करें चाहे ना करें, ऑल अराउंड यू. और आपके पास ये जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट है ये आपको अपनी लोकेशन के साथ टाई करता है और आपको कनेक्ट करता है थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड. और ये पॉसिबल कैसे हुआ है? थ्रू सम ज्योग्राफिक टेक्नोलॉजीज. GIS, GPS उसने आपको कनेक्ट किया है ना. तो ज्योग्राफी इज ऑल अराउंड यू, ज्योग्राफी इज अफेक्टिंग यू ऑल द टाइम, ऑल द वे. तो ये कुछ रैंडम थॉट्स थी जो मैंने सोचा कि जब नैना ने मुझे ऑन द स्पॉट कर ही दिया तो चलो आपके साथ शेयर कर लूँ. आई वंस अगेन congratulate B.R. Thakur and his team, the Department of Geography, Geographical Society of Himachal Pradesh for organizing such a wonderful, such a successful conference, albeit with the limitation of weather. ठंड भी है, बारिश भी हो रही है. In spite of that, our hall is full. और जैसा मैंने कहा कि full hall tells you that this conference has been successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful words. I consider it a great honor to welcome the chief guest of valedictory session, Professor Rajeshwar Chandel sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Yashwant Singh Parmar University of Horticulture and Forestry, Solan, to honor the valedictory session. I now request Dr. B.R. Thakur, convener of the event, to honor chief guest of today's valedictory session, Professor Rajeshwar Chandel sir, with Himachali shawl, topi and token of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chief guest of today's valedictory session, Professor Rajeshwar Chandel is Vice Chancellor of Dr. Y.S. Parmar University of Horticulture and Forestry, Noni, Solan. Sir is a well-known entomologist and has over 2 decades of experience in teaching, research, and extension. You have served the university in many capacities like Seed Research Officer, Extension Specialist, Associate Director, and Principal Scientist, cum Head, Regional Horticultural Research and Training Station. Professor Chandel has served as First Executive Director of Himachal Pradesh Government's ambitious Prakritik Hiti Kaushal Yojana and is credited with success of the program. More than 200 research papers of national and international reputed journals have been into his credit, and 20 national and state-funded projects have been completed under his guidance. Sir is a visiting scientist and has visited many countries like Malaysia, Canada, Australia, and Italy. Sir is member of National Advisory Committee for the promotion of natural farming in the country. Without much wait, now I would like to invite today's chief guest for his inspirational words.
Professor D.D. Sharma, my friend and Honorable Vice Chancellor Sardar Vallabh University, Mandi, Professor S.P. Kaushik ji, Guest of Honor, Kurukshetra University, Professor Mamta Mokta, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Matsab, Patron of the Society, and the chief architect, I would say, of this whole program, and which is being delayed only due to my delay. Dr. B.R. Thakurji, Organizing Secretary, who must have been the heart of this whole program, Dr. Ramlal ji, Dr. Seema Chaudhary, Co-Organizing Secretary. Although you must have got the warmth from the organizer in Himachal Pradesh, because you have been coming from different 14, 16 states. So must be feeling the warmth in the still outgoing this summer season. It has been raining for the last 4-5 days continuously. So I think till time you must be devoid of looking at different hills, our mountains, our peaks. I really convey my hearty thanks to the organizer to allow me to be with you, although I am a student of agriculture science, much away from the thinking process which contributes to the nation development. जो सोचना है, समझना है, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, डिस्कशन करना है, विज्ञान का विद्यार्थी उससे हट जाता है. It's only you, the social scientists, who continue to carry over the discussions, who continue to contradict, who continue to accept the changes. And this is the biggest blocking factor with the science students, who generally try to remain within the some books of the course and writing the paper, as has been said by the young lady, that I have more than 200 research papers. But I understand its value to the society, it's questionable. What values to the society is the theme of the topic. The theme which you have planned to organize this national workshop, that is geography, development, and policy. But when we try to roll out some yojana, policy of the government, this geography factor, it gets the last position. And I would say that is the most limiting factor which does not allow us to contribute to the best of our knowledge, skill, and utilization of the funds. Let me cite some examples. I'll try to shift to the first major hurdle which blocks us applying our fullest energy for the implementation of any policy. That is the language. And this is the biggest blocking factor which I would say is with our teachers, our planners, our policy makers. भाषा सबसे बड़ा अवरोधक है. Yes, I can cite you some examples. भारतवर्ष में जब कृषि होती थी, so we have been taught that only we were very poor, and it's the US which helped us feeding our empty tummies. यह बताया गया हम भूखे थे, अमेरिका ने अनाज दिया, हमें पढ़ाया, हमें खिलाया, उसके बाद ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन आया और आज भारत सेल्फ सफिशिएंट है, आज एक्सपोर्ट कर रहा है. इसका दूसरा हिस्सा बताता हूं. बहुत पुराना जाएंगे, 300 BC, 350 BC, तमिलनाडु से लेकर, right from, I think people from Tamil Nadu experts are sitting over here. Honorable Prime Minister has also made a mention of a great philosopher from the Tamil Nadu who has written many quotes on the agriculture. घाघ भंडारी की कई कहानियां हैं उत्तर प्रदेश की, 14वीं शताब्दी की, 15वीं शताब्दी की. बीज कैसे लगाना, कौन सी दिशा में लगाना, कौन सा नक्षत्र होना चाहिए. और हमें पढ़ाया गया, it's only the white people who came here and taught us how to grow food. भारत की संस्कृति सबसे पुरानी है. Then there was the invent of the universities. The first biggest hurdle which I spoken over here is भाषा. गुरु से हमें बदला टीचर में. टीचर ने टाई लगाई, कोट पैंट डाला, फिर किसान को बताया कि जो मैं पढ़ाऊंगा तू पढ़ेगा, और भाषा अंग्रेजी होगी. हिमाचल प्रदेश में जिसको ध्रुव बोलते थे, everybody was knowing right from the childhood of 2 years age till he or she lives on the earth. उसको साइनोडोन डैक्टिलोन जब बोला तो उसको यह बताया गया कि नहीं, ये भाषा है, ये अंग्रेजी है, ये विज्ञान. जब भाषा का डिस्कनेक्ट कर दिया, हाउ पॉलिसी विल वर्क. So this is the first order. We encourage our students, we encourage our sons and daughters, our siblings to learn another language. क्या कभी हिमाचल वाले हमने कहा कि पंजाबी सीखनी चाहिए, कालका से नीचे हमें पढ़ने नहीं आता? Did we ever ask our students कि तमिल सीखनी चाहिए, मलयालम सीखनी चाहिए? And people all across globe, they feel proud learning these languages. सबसे पुरानी भाषाओं में तमिल की भाषा है. But we ask, no. आई सुई द्राई 4 5 6 7 ऑक 9 जोन जब तक नहीं सीखेंगे तो तुम बड़े नहीं बनोगे. जर्मन कैसे बनोगे? भाषा पे आना पड़ेगा. जब भाषा आएगी तो हाउ पॉलिसी विल वर्क. by creating a connect. जो स्टेक होल्डर है, फॉर विच एक्चुअली द पॉलिसी विल वर्क, पॉलिसी हैज टू वर्क, उसके साथ कनेक्ट कैसे करोगे? जब भाषा नहीं है तो कनेक्ट कहाँ करेंगे? लेट मी साइट वन मोर एग्जाम्पल. देयर वाज ए पॉलिसी फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. पॉलिसी किस लिए है? व्हाई देयर इज अ डेवलपमेंट पॉलिसी? इट इज अ सेट ऑफ एक्टिविटी टू रोल आउट द ग्राउंड. And the aim should have been to reduce poverty,
to reduce inequality and to meet the sustainable development goals. यही इसीलिए पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए ना. एक प्रधानमंत्री परंपरागत कृषि विकास योजना बनी. मैं डिफरेंस बिटवीन पॉलिसी एंड द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, इट्स एक्चुअल रोलिंग आउट ऑन द ग्राउंड बताता हूँ. परंपरागत कृषि विकास योजना एक बनी पूरे देश के लिए. पूरे देश की कृषि को जब हमने देखा कि इट हैज बीन अफेक्टिंग अवर क्लाइमेट, अवर सॉयल, अवर वाटर, अवर इवन ह्यूमन हेल्थ आल्सो, तो परंपरागत विधियों पे चलना चाहिए. और उसका एक पैसा कैसे मिलेगा स्टेट्स को? 1000 हेक्टेयर पर कन्वर्ट करना फार्मर को नॉन केमिकल प्रैक्टिसेस पर, और उस यूनिट पे पैसा मिलेगा. और स्टेट्स को पैसा लेना है. तो बहुत से लोग लगे, थर्ड पार्टीज आई, 1000 हेक्टेयर पे पेपर्स पे काम करना शुरू हो गए. अब पंजाब का 1000 हेक्टेयर और हिमाचल का 1000 हेक्टेयर. नाउ आई एम लिंकिंग इट टू द जियोग्राफी. पंजाब का 1000 हेक्टेयर you will have to connect only with the 50 farmers. और हिमाचल के 1000 हेक्टेयर के लिए आपको 2500 फार्मर पे जाना पड़ेगा, which is not possible, which is next to impossible. तो पॉलिसी कागज पे चली, पैसा भी गया सरकार से, लोगों ने भी कमाया, कागज पे जैविक किसान भी बन गया, और प्रोजेक्ट पूरा हो गया. मान लिया वो कुछ गलत भी हो गया, बट 1000 में से 100 हेक्टेयर तो काम हो जाता. क्योंकि 100 के लिए हमने कनेक्ट नहीं किया, उस भाषा से नहीं किया. वे केम आउट विद ए बिग प्रोटोकॉल जो कभी 70s में ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग सर्टिफिकेशन का बना, उसके साथ आए, तुम्हें ये करना, तुम्हें ये करना, तुम्हें ये करना. ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग पे एक प्रोटोकॉल बना कि द एरिया शुड बी कंटिगुअस टू सर्टिफाई द फार्मर्स एज ऑर्गेनिक फार्मर्स. ऊपर वाला अगर केमिकल खेती कर रहा है तो नीचे वाला जैविक खेती नहीं कर सकता. प्रश्न किया हमने, क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों? लीचिंग होती है फर्टिलाइजर्स की. पेस्टिसाइड स्प्रे करेंगे, उसकी ड्रिफ्टिंग होगी. हमने कहा फिर तो पूरा मॉडर्नेस रीजन जो है वो जैविक खेती कर ही नहीं सकता. बट पेपर्स पे तो इट कवर्स लैक्स ऑफ हेक्टेयर. फिर ये छूट कैसे चल रहा है? तो ना जियोग्राफी कंसिडरेशन है, ना लैंग्वेज कंसिडरेशन है, ना पॉलिसी फॉर्मेट कंसिडरेशन है, एंड अल्टीमेटली द स्कीम्स आर वर्किंग. We try to pose some of the questions. I take this privilege to speak before you कि छोटा व्यक्ति भी जब सच पे बोलता है तो सरकारों को सुनना पड़ता है, और ये हमने यहां देखा. प्राकृतिक खेती का अभियान देश में चला, which initiated from the Himachal Pradesh as a government policy. But the government of Himachal Pradesh was kind enough to place it on the table of a few people who are responsible to roll out this policy, to frame policy. और जब काम शुरू किया हमने, we never thought how to start, where from we'll start. कनेक्ट करते गए किसान से, और वो पॉलिसी बनती गई. एंड आई एम हैप्पी टू शेयर विद यू, जो 1000 हेक्टेयर का मैंने अभी आपको कहा कि 1000 हेक्टेयर का कंसेप्ट चल रहा था, भारत सरकार ने उसको 50 हेक्टेयर अब कर दिया. बट इट टुक 3.5 years टू कन्विंस गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कि क्यों काम नहीं कर रही है स्कीम. यस, योर डेटा इज राइट, इट शोज यस देयर आर ऑर्गेनिक फार्मर्स. Because I'll not take much of your time. I have already delayed your departure. we are the drivers of the policies. हम इसके अभियंता हैं. किताब पे जो लिखा है वो भी पढ़ाना है, बट किताब में जो लिखा है और जो मन बोलता है उसको अलाइन कैसे करके पढ़ाना है. और देश का जो स्टेक होल्डर है, वो चाहे किसान है चाहे आम नागरिक है, उसको जब सेंटर में रखेंगे. ज्योग्राफी इज द बिगेस्ट प्लेग्राउंड टू प्लान. You must be from the academia. क्लास में बच्चा सुन नहीं रहा है. He is fed up with our English. He is fed up with the text. बट बीच में क्या कोशिश करें कि उसको लिंक करें, कहीं दिक्कत तो नहीं. एक एग्जांपल, लास्ट एग्जांपल साइड करके मैं अपनी बात खत्म करूंगा. 6 साल पहले जब मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में था, प्रोफेसर था डिपार्टमेंट में, 18 स्टूडेंट एमएससी एंटोमोलॉजी में आए और 4 स्टूडेंट पंजाब और हरियाणा के आ गए, हिंदी लैंग्वेज से आए. और मुझे सेमिनार इंचार्ज बनाया, सबको टॉपिक दिए. तो मैंने सबकी डेट्स रख दी कि थोड़ा डर बनेगा और ये बच्चे तैयारी कर लेंगे. जब वो डेट्स पास में आई तो सबसे पहले मैंने एक राजस्थान का था उसका रखा, फिर पंजाब के जो प्राइवेट कॉलेजेस के आए थे उनके रखे. फिर वो डरना शुरू, नहीं सर ये नहीं होगा, सर नहीं सर फेल हो जाएंगे. तो मैंने खूब डराना शुरू किया. लास्ट मैंने एक दिन बुलाया, मैंने कहा ये जो लड़कियां बैठी हैं तुम्हारी, ये सेंट बीट्स कॉलेज की पढ़ के आई है, ये अंग्रेजी में कट करके बोलेंगी. एवरीबॉडी विल बी इम्प्रेस, दे विल गेट 80 आउट ऑफ 100. देन यू विल बी कंपेयर्ड विद दोज लेडीज और तुम फंस जाओगे, इसलिए पहले दे दो, तुम्हारा नंबर लग जाएगा. विद ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट टू एवरीबॉडी प्लीज. मैं भाषा पे आ रहा हूँ. जब 2 दिन रह गए तो डरे हुए थे, मेहनत कर रहे हैं, ऐसा लग रहा है मेहनत कर रहे हैं, रोज मिलने आ रहे हैं. जब 1 दिन रह गया तो मैंने कहा अंग्रेजी, हिंदी, पंजाबी तुम्हें जो आती है वो बोलना है तुम्हें. और जब तुम फिर भी भूल जाओगे तो चौक पकड़ो, पीछे मुड़ना, ब्लैक बोर्ड पे कुछ लिखना, तब तक ध्यान में आ जाएगा, मैं बीच में बोलूंगा. एंड दे परफॉर्म सो एक्सेलेंटली that 3 out of 4 got 82, 83, 84 marks. ये भाषा है. पॉलिसी तो ये थी सेमिनार करवाना है, पर ट्रेंड बीच में आया. ट्रेंड कौन सा होता है? अंग्रेजी बोलेंगे, टीचर बैठेंगे, चाय कॉफी होगी, दैट्स इट. बट उसको कॉन्फिडेंस आया कि मैं पंजाबी भी बोल सकता हूं. मुझे मेरे टीचर ने बोल दिया, उसने कहा आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ यू, मैं बैठा हूं बीच में. ऐसे कनेक्ट हम करेंगे तो जो मूल मंत्र है कि नेशन इज फर्स्ट, राष्ट्राय स्वाहा, इदमम राष्ट्राय इदनमम, इसको साकार करते हुए पॉलिसी को हम ज्योग्राफिया को बीच में, उस लोकल माइक्रो क्लाइमेट को ध्यान में रखते हुए उसकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन को अपने आप उस स्टेक होल्डर से कनेक्ट करते हुए उसको सक्सेसफुल करेंगे. तो मुझे लगता है देश का जो 2047 में हमें विकसित देश बनना है, वी विल बी वन ऑफ द कंट्रीब्यूटर्स विद आवर फुटप्रिंट्स. इतना ही मुझे बोलना है. आपने मुझे बुलाया, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और मैं आपसे माफ़ी चाहूँगा कि मैंने आपको देरी की. शुक्रिया.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing us with such meaningful and inspirational speech. Longing to hear from you in the near future also. This two-day event would not have been a success without active participation of the delegates and one and all directly and indirectly engaged in its working. Thus, I would like to invite Dr. Ramlal, Assistant Professor, Department of Geography, Himachal Pradesh University, and Organizing Secretary for proposing a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Twinkle.
सॉरी, मेरी मजबूरी थी.
A very good afternoon to everyone. James Allen, the famous Minister of New Zealand, made a statement in 1912: no duty is more urgent than the returning thanks. Respected Professor Rajeshwar Chandel, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Y.S. Parmar University of Horticulture and Forestry, Solon, Professor S.P. Kaushik, President-elect Association of Punjab Geographers, Professor Mamta Mokta, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor B.S. Murd, Patron Geographical Society of Himachal Pradesh, Professor D.D. Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sardar Patel University, Mandi, and President of GSHP, Dr. B.R. Thakur, Convener, National Seminar, Dr. Seema Chaudhary, Co-Organizing Secretary, eminent colleagues of Himachal Pradesh University's distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I feel deemed to have an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks to all who helped to make this event such a success. It is an established fact that organizing any national event is not a small undertaking, a cup of tea for every institution. It is collective teamwork, and there have been many hard task makers, stakeholders, contributors, and well wishers who contributed a lot to make this event a great success. At the outset, on behalf of the organizing committee and on my own behalf, I would like to thank Professor S.P. Bansal, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Chief Patron of National Seminar, for sparing his valuable time to grace this occasion inaugural function as chief guest on virtual mode. We would like to express our deep felt thanks to him for setting the tone of the event through his insightful inaugural address despite his busy schedules. We are also thankful to Professor Jyoti Prakash, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Himachal Pradesh University, for elderly guidance, morals boosting atmosphere throughout, thought provoking insight, and all administrative help as and when required in organizing the events. I am sure without his kind cooperation, this event won't have achieved this level of success. Further, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to renowned geographers Professor Kaushal Kumar Sharma, a man of international eminence, for kindly agreeing to deliver the keynote address as such as such a shorter notice. We are thankful to him for putting painstaking efforts for preparing the well thought and informative address which truly touch all of us. Any event cannot be successful without active participation. I am thankful to all the paper presenters and other distinguished participants whose presence is invaluable during these events. I thank all the chairpersons, co-chairpersons, rapporteurs for being with us and managing all the technical sessions and one plenary sessions, abiding by the time schedules. I especially thank all the eminent panelists for sharing their thought-provoking views on the key theme of the seminar, that is geography, development and public policies. किसी शायर ने खूब कहा है कि तका खुदा तो नहीं बट खुदा से कम भी नहीं. I am pretty sure that Dr. B.R. Thakur definitely realized this statement when started generating revenues for this national event. We are thankful to the funding agencies, donors, sponsors who came forward and support these events. Firstly, I start from the hosting institutions. We are thankful to Himachal Pradesh universities for supporting the event. Professor S.P. Bansal, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Himachal Pradesh University, has been kind enough to provide the financial assistance to hold this event. A major contribution also came from State Disaster Management Authority, Simla. I am also thankful to Indian Council of Social Science Research Northwestern Regional Center, Chandigarh, for supporting the event. The financial contribution of all other sponsors is duly acknowledged. I would like to thank Professor Arvind Bhatt, Chief Guest of the Cultural Evening, for sparing his valuable time to grace these occasions. I also pay sincere thanks to the students of Geography and Biosciences Department of the university for taking care of entertainment part of our distinguished delegates by organizing the cultural evenings. We are thankful to the cultural group sponsored by the state government to entertain all of us during the cultural events. We are also thankful to the caterer for avoiding care of food and all boarding and lodging managers, extending comfortable stay to all of our participants during last 2 or 3 days. Further, I would like to thank Dr. Seema Chaudhary, co-organizing secretary of the event, for their cooperation and support. The cooperation and support of all the students, all the volunteers of the teams, members of the different committees who have been instrumental in making this program a grand success. An event of these dimensions cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling month in advance. It requires meticulous planning and execution and eye for details. I have been fortunate enough to be backed by the team, motivated and dedicated member of geography departments who know their job and are result oriented. I thank each one of them for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take and completion to tasks beyond their comfort zones. They all discharged their duty as a dedicated and individual and were not wanting to any of the occasion during this time. The entire non-teaching staff of the university, especially Vedvya Sharma, Ratnaram, Vinita Thakur, has always been with us working behind the bar. कहते हैं काम कोई करता है नाम किसी का होता है, काम कोई करता है नाम किसी का होता है, जलता है तेल रोशन दिया होता है. Although it is a teamwork, however, credit goes to the team leader, but we have 3 team leaders in the name of Professor D.D. Sharma, Professor Kaushal Kumar Sharma, and Dr. B.R. Thakur, convener of this event, who really deserve Naam through Kam. I always saw them putting selfless effort to make this event successful. Last but not the least, I extend thanks to the print and electronic media for providing wider coverage of this event in their respective dailies. Anybody who contributed in any form, if left without mention in this vote of thanks, may forgive me. किसी शायर ने कहा है, खुदा ने कहा है फरिश्तों से, खुदा ने कहा है फरिश्तों से, कहीं आदमी से गलती ना हो जाए. फिर फरिश्तों ने कहा खुदा से, अगर आदमी से गलती ना हो जाए तो फिर आदमी ही खुदा ना बन जाए. Therefore, owning every responsibility of any mistake, inconvenience, shortcoming on any part of the event during last 2-3 days, I also took forward your suggestions through email, through WhatsApp, for further betterment as road to improve the never end. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. We have a few announcements. General body meeting of GSHP will be held in Department of Geography after lunch today, and all the members are required to make it convenient to the end. Second announcement we have is that all those who are life members of GSHP can collect their certificates from the counter outside the venue, and all those who are willing to become the life members can do the same there. And third announcement we have by Professor S.P. Kaushik, sir. So I would request him to make the announcement, please.
This is one important announcement from APG. Association of Punjab Geographer Conference is organized by IGU, Indira Gandhi University, Mirpur, Rewari, on 3rd and 4th November this year. For that, we invite you all and we request you all to participate in large number. There are two awards which are introduced by the APG, and for that young geographers can contribute. One is Dr. Saminderjit Singh Young Geographer Award, which is taken care by Dr. B.R. Thakur. So you can send the papers to Dr. B.R. Thakur. And the other one is Promising Geographer Award, that is taken care by Dr. Biswa Chandel of Department of Geography, Punjab University, Chandigarh. The last date, important dates for abstract and full paper, that is 30th September for the submission of abstract, and for full papers for these two awards, the last date is 15th October. All other details you can see on the website of APG, which is available on the internet. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have one more announcement that next GSHP annual meet will be organized by GB Pant Institute of Himalayan Environment, Kulu. The dates will be told very soon to you people, and it will be mailed to all the delegates. And now I request all the house and the dignitaries on the dais and all the delegates to stand for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाए तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे
Now all the delegates are requested to proceed for lunch in the same venue where we used to go for the last 2 days. Thank you all.